Hello everyone, Giant Musty's here. There's some interesting news hitting that TOHO is investing in creative control of their own properties that are currently with Legendary Pictures. From 2019 to 2021, TOHO will invest 135 million US dollars. According to the Asian Review, these properties include the Hollywood adaptations of Your Name, Pokemon, and Godzilla, quote, with more to come. TOHO will be investing up to 25% of each film's budget. However, in doing so, it gives TOHO the ability to insist on creative input. And that's where I want to begin speculation here. Now, in no way does this confirm that more Godzilla films after Godzilla vs. Kong are in development. After all, Godzilla vs. Kong is scheduled for 2020, and this deal with TOHO for creative control investments expires after 2021. Now, you could argue that that's enough time to do one more film, but seeing as how Godzilla 2 comes out in 2019 and Godzilla vs. Kong in 2020, I highly doubt that we'll get another American Godzilla movie the following year, which will be 3 years in a row. However, with TOHO investing in Legendary, if the investment goes well, I could easily see TOHO wanting to expand their deal with Legendary. After all, if they don't expand the deal and they want to reissue the license to Godzilla to another company, then they would have to do the creative control deal from scratch with another studio. So nothing's set in stone yet for the future of Godzilla after Godzilla vs. Kong. I feel that this is more than just an investment in the current films. What I really think TOHO wants to do here is ensure the longevity of Godzilla. If you look at Shin Godzilla and the new Godzilla animes, Godzilla's in the process of being completely reimagined. With the current direction of the Legendary films, you can have a few sequels of just Godzilla fighting other monsters. But this runs the risk of exhausting the franchise again. This has happened several times in the past. The Showa era, the Heisei era, the Millennium era. No matter how exciting the battles were in those films, the audiences grew exhausted, reinventing Godzilla, such as the Meltdown Godzilla. And once again, Shin Godzilla is what keeps Godzilla fresh. Here's a list of the top 10 grossing Japanese Godzilla films. This box office is for Japanese grossing only. Here's a list of the top 10 least grossing, not including the Godzilla anime. If you look at the least, more often than not, it's the ones that are at the end of a saga due to franchise fatigue, or the Millennium Saga almost in its entirety. Just because, once again, I guess franchise fatigue, even though it was still early in the reboot, is just weighing on the franchise. Producing Hollywood budget Godzilla films. These are much bigger than any Shin Godzilla could be in Japan. So obviously TOHO wants to keep Hollywood Godzilla going, but they want to make sure that the interest in Godzilla stays there. And I think that's why they're stepping in there. They want to help Legendary reimagine Godzilla in the future as much as possible while staying true to the Godzilla formula. Now, if you want to dive into a worst case scenario here, you could argue that perhaps TOHO got a glimpse at what Legendary is doing with the redesigning of Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah, and they didn't like it. Maybe it was too much like the 98 Columbia Godzilla. It's pretty well known that whenever the design for the 98 Godzilla was finalized, they actually flew the model the whole way over to Japan, to TOHO Studios, just to get the blessing of the staff there, and it didn't go over well. Perhaps similar scenarios happening here. TOHO saw what Legendary might be doing with some of their other iconic characters, and they want to do instant damage control, but that's merely speculation, like most of this video. Let me know what you think about the future of Godzilla in the hands of Legendary. Does this TOHO investment mean anything in any way? After all, they're planning on doing a Shin Godzilla sequel shortly after 2020, according to reports saying that that's when the next time they can make a Shin Godzilla film is. Does that mean that they're postponing that sequel and just going for another Legendary film? Are they going to renew the contract? Personally, I've been holding out hope that secretly Legendary is going to acquire the rights to Gamera and finally make a Godzilla vs. the Gamera movie. But if TOHO now has, say, maybe 25% influence over these films, could they possibly stop that from happening? I mean, who knows how TOHO truly feels about Gamera? Maybe they would love it. Let me know what you're thinking or hoping. Giant Musties, and I'm out.